Hello, everybody. Todd standing here, coming to you live from a place in Revelstoke. Last week, our feed got shut off a little bit early because the restaurant closed. So I ordered some crappy food, and they shut the restaurant down early, and I was only there to do the live show. But I apologize for that. So hello, everybody. Oh, happiest wife ever again. My goodness. You must be a happy wife. Wow. Green dwarf, or brown dwarf, sorry. Green dwarf will come later. Hello, Amanda. So, thanks for tuning in, everybody. And we're just going to do another awesome show because you guys are freaking amazing. My goodness, I don't even have to prepare because you guys are so freaking awesome. These questions, I can see them already coming, and you guys are just amazing. For example, we just opened up a can of worms. Dino Boo 65. Do I believe in the Giganto theory? Well, that's a whole can of worms. Let's get into it. The Giganto theory, absolutely. What happened was way back in 2007 when I started doing the species protection and recognition petition. Some professors from Beijing University contacted me and asked me if I could get some Sasquatch DNA, just some hair samples or some kind of DNA. So preferably hair. So, and I asked them why. So because they wanted to compare the Yeti DNA with the Sasquatch DNA and see how closely related they are. And I was like, well, what's going on with this? Like, how much do you guys actually know? And the answer to that was, they told me that the Gigantopithecus, which was discovered in Langchun, China, was the direct descendant of the Yeti, which is the cousin brother to Bigfoot. So, anyways, they started paying me. Like I had to go open an account at the Hong Kong Bank of Canada, so they could start giving me money every month to go find them DNA. And I did not succeed. It was another person, the Snell Grove guy actually succeeded before I did. But they came back with the results, and I'll tell you, the stuff, they actually flew down to meet me before they started paying me. And they were showing me stuff, like pictures of things that were very Sasquatch related and tracks and stuff. And I was very convinced that they had really good, authentic stuff. But it's them anyways. They did the genetic comparison from the Snell Grove Sasquatch DNA, and this is way back in 2007. I don't think Snell Grove was on the map at that time. And I actually know the guy from, or I used to talk to the guy from Snell Grove, the actual guy who started that all. And he's incredible. He is strongly against going public with Sasquatch. He thinks that showing them publicly would destroy them. But anyways, the whole long story short, at the end of it, when I was talking to the professors from Beijing University, who are still colleagues of mine, and they've very much convinced me the Giganto theory is absolutely rock solid. But I remember asking them, I go, they told me, because I told them how close I was and how well I was doing, and I thought I was going to have this discovery wrapped up real fast. And they told me, well, I said, at the time I was looking for a recently deceased body, which is what the Canadian government asked of me after I did the petition, or a significant piece of a recently deceased body. And I told them, I said, well, if I supply that, what are you going to do? And they go, we'll match it. And I went, pardon me? And I go, what if I find a fully deceased body from head to toe and I go public with that? What are you going to do? And they looked me right in the eye and said, we'll match it. We'll only give as good as you give. So they explained to me how they feel like China's been very damaged and raped. They talked to me about how the two pandas that are on display at the American Museum of Modern History were stolen by Teddy Roosevelt's sons from China. So that China feels like they're very, for lack of a better term, violated by the rest of the world with their artifacts, the way people come in and steal it. So, but yeah, that's what they told me, and I believe them. I mean, these are professors from Beijing University. They were there for one of the professors was, I was hoping it wouldn't break up like that, I apologize. But anyway, one of the professors was actually there during the discovery of the teeth of Giganto. And in the news, it was a Canadian from, I think it was Hamilton, a university in Hamilton, that said he had the youngest piece of Giganto fossil. And the Chinese people were laughing at me going, do you really think we gave him the best that we had? And the truth is, they gave him that piece, that Giganto tooth, and I think it was the youngest one in the world to the rest of the scientific community known and publicized. And they told me, you know what, if we gave him that one, you gotta know, we've got so much better. So we're not gonna give some stranger credit like that. So anyways, that's the whole Giganto thing. See, awesome questions you guys have. I never could have thought to do that. So I should have a really good internet connection. It's saying it's really good here. I love doing this. Please be patient with the coming on and off there, guys. So where are we at here? Got lots of questions that I missed out here. I made a Snell Grove Bigfoot board and caught my sister-in-law. She's talking Northern Idaho Sasquatch. She's talking about they actually made something that a Sasquatch stepped on, and there was some DNA possibly taken from it, and it was the shape of a foot of a Bigfoot. So yeah, that's pretty cool that happened. I always thought that was kind of horrible. Can you imagine stepping on that, hurting your foot like that? I thought that was a pretty awful thing, and that would have really upset. I see Sasquatch as sentient, intelligent beings, and to see them step on that board, it also kind of confused me how they would be fooled to step on that. But anyways, it's very likely it really happened, and the whole Snell Grove thing isn't what you think it is. The guy who actually started the Snell Grove thing, and this is what I know about it, he bought as much land as he could, but he couldn't afford to keep buying land, and people heard about the Sasquatch and bought another piece of land and went up there. So the guy who's actually doing the real stuff he doesn't cooperate with anybody, not even me really. We talk, and we used to have very heated discussions about whether it's appropriate for Sasquatch to be known public or not. Hey Amanda, or sorry, hey Ontario IITC Research, Danielle, thank you for coming. One of my mediators, thank you, yeah, so much for your help, guys. But anyways, do I think they buried their scat? Yeah, well, I found scat that wasn't buried, so do I think they bury their scat though? I bury mine, so I hope they do, but I don't know. I'm so sorry this internet's breaking up, or is it even the internet? I don't know if it's YouTube or not. But anyways, yeah, do bury their scat. I can't find it, right? But I have found scat that was not buried, so that's your answer for that one. I will maybe grow the beard back. I don't know. So when I start doing expeditions, which is right away, oh my gosh, the people are chasing me for expeditions. I'm not really talking or doing much about expeditions, and all these amazing people are trackers and hunters, and all these incredible outdoors people are chasing me around to do expeditions, including former expeditioners, are just like everybody's on board. So I'm really excited. Yeah, the expeditions are coming really soon. So looks like I'm taking out a film crew to go out preemptively. I'm getting paid for it by an Australian film crew. So that's really cool. And then expeditions like crazy after that, Joe. So thanks for asking. And it's all going to be this year. This year, though, it sort of changes to not really expeditions now. It's about the Discovering Bigfoot Research Center. Check out that Bruce. Is that awesome? Look at that thing. I like to beat the hell out of myself, don't I? But all those brands are to the east. Parkway Hippies says, okay, they might bury their scat near their camp. Actually, you know what I do know? Smell the Do-Right. That sounds like such a strange name. Why can't people pick not weird names? Anyways, smell the Do-Right. I've noticed that by day watcher spots, they pee in the same spot. So if you know about my theory about they have day watchers that watch over the main group while they sleep in particular areas, there's a spot where when I filmed Jake, video 5, there was an area around there. After I went around and searched the area, there was an area that smelled badly like Sasquatch smell, like he'd been urinating in a particular spot, and it was like a corner spot far away where the wind wasn't usually blowing from. I thought, what a perfect spot to go pee all the time, because their pee is strong. I mean, Jake's a big male. His pee was, it's going to smell. So I think they have a pee spot when they have a day watcher area or a particular area. So what an awesome question, right? So it's funny, I don't think about these things. I'm out in the field so much, and there's so much stuff. I just don't think about it until you guys ask me these amazing questions. So, and the true review, their poop does look a lot like human. The scat that I've found wasn't like a bear either. It was like, he even looked like he was dragging himself along, where he had like a nice, is this gross to talk about this? Anyways, this is biology. If you don't like it, plug your ears. It was a nice long log. The scat sample was funny. One of the best scat samples I ever found was on an Indian reserve. I was following a trackway of a Sasquatch, and I saw him like squatting down, and I could see the scat. I went and took it to Survivor Man before I'd done a TV show with Survivor Man, and I met him at the Jasper, what was that? The Fairmount in Jasper. And I walk in there with Sasquatch poop, and I tell Les I got some in my jacket, and he says, pull it out. We put it on the table, and there's this big big, huge chunk of Sasquatch. And Survivor Man's looking at that like he was so impressed. He's like, that's not bear scat. I go, no, no way. Bears don't eat that. Bears don't poop like that. It was had juniper berries in it and leaves and stuff. It was very. The scat was totally vegetative, and yeah. I mean, if you're gonna impress Survivor Man, and I literally got that scat on the way to come see him. So I don't know. It was impressive, and that scat was great. So it later on got stolen with my DNA, which is ridiculous and stupid. But because I'll get more. What are you gonna steal that? Good luck with that. So the Bigfoot behind the big boulder looked like a werewolf, kind of a lot different than Jake. Well, Kevin, again, you're only seeing a section of him, right? Like a small section of him. When you see the shape of the head, it was a lot like Jake, except for some male pattern baldness, and his body style was like Jake. Certainly not as big and as muscular, but again, I'm seeing a bigger picture than you. In fact, that Sasquatch, I had a really good look at him shortly after he came and beat the crap out of me, and yeah. So I mean, he was angry too. Jake is really relaxed, and I assume if you look at me when I'm happy, look at me when I'm angry. Werewolf scary look, right? So, and I find that the Sasquatch have very expressive faces. Have they sent it to lab to prove Bigfoot's real? You know what, Mike? If I had my DNA didn't even bump anybody. People have had DNA didn't even bump. It seems the DNA that was given to Melba Ketchum that she takes all the credit for, by the way, which was paid for by somebody else, and she was just a lab person involved in it, and other labs substantiated her work. But anyways, that DNA was, I mean, Randy Brisson is an excellent, incredible Sasquatch researcher. Some of his DNA was put in there, and he didn't get any credit for it. That bothers me when all the boots on the ground people don't get any credit. And they're getting it done, That's very bothersome. Some guy will go get it all done and finish it all up and then hold a PhD's hand in, show him a Sasquatch. And the PhD gets all the credit, or the PhDs get all the credit for the work with the gorillas and the understanding of gorillas, when it was really the people and the guides and everything that really got it done. And they were really the heart and soul of it all, and they get absolutely no credit. I found scat in the field that was covered by long grass and hay in the field. It looked like cow patties. There are no cattle at all ever in this field. But Sasquatch shouldn't look like cow patties at all. It should look very human, like it came out of a long intestine. And the samples that I've seen they're not, even a bear you could say could be human, but they arch like a dog and it comes out and piles up. Whereas a Sasquatch, they just, for some reason, it's like a long piece that comes out just the way they go, I guess. So, have you heard about David Pilates' DNA study? He says that DNA came from modern human. Yeah, and that's cool. David Pilates does lots of stuff with Melba Ketchum. I have DNA, and my DNA showed more human, not more human, but a more advanced hominid, which was really ticking off the geneticists. And my DNA test wasn't a full genome, it was only 6 tests. 4 of them came back like 100%. 4 of the 6 came back 100% human, and 2 of them came back impossible, like a new species that was more hominid. So literally 1/3 of the tests that they did were some advanced new species of hominid, and the other 4 just showed hominid or even human. What the problem with that is, the big problem with that is you can't fake DNA that's from some unknown, more advanced hominid. And if you tested, like, let's say Homo florenziensis, a hobbit, it's not a human being, but if you tested that Homo florenziensis, that little hobbit person that we know existed in the Florenzial Isles, he would test as 100% human in this test, right? And he's not human. So try to keep that in mind when you're talking about my DNA. So let's see here. Do they keep carcasses in trees? I don't think so. No, mountain lions do that. If you saw a carcass in a tree, even Cappy McCappy, if you see a carcass in a tree, that shows that you have a healthy ecosystem, because the mountain lion's taking up a tree because the wolves are going to come eat it. If mountain lions aren't taking their carcasses up trees, that means there's no wolves. You don't have a good, healthy ecosystem. So the true review, don't know. Happiest wife ever. Hey, happiest wife ever. Our tree breaks or trunk markings like / dot do not enter sign for, yeah, I mean, it's communication, right? There's no arguing that they're clearly attempting to communicate with us. I've seen tree breaks really in the deep forest where they're communicating with other Sasquatch, but when they're on the trails and they do them in response to people walking on the trails, they're clearly trying to communicate with people. So, and I do think it means don't go here, don't go there. That's my theory. That's just my theory. So, have I heard a Sasquatch laugh? Yes, I've heard them go hee like that. So, it was when I went and I don't know. I've probably said this before. I tricked them into getting some incredible tracks, and I had them walk through with after months and months of trying. I had them walk. As I was saying, after months and months of working to getting them to walk through a particular area, they did. And then I went back down the hill to get casting material because I don't walk around with 50 pounds of casting material in the middle of bloody nowhere. But fortunately, the casting material was close. I went down to get it. I came back up, and the tracks were covered perfectly, like covered like brilliantly, where I couldn't even hardly see where they were, and it looked like the tracks had never been there. And when I initially got the tracks, I was like, pumping my hips and jiving, go, "Woo, got you boys! Yeah, I got your track! Yeah!" I was all excited. Then when I came back up the hill and the tracks were all covered, I heard a "hey," and it felt like laughter to me. It felt like, "Who got who, buddy? You don't got nothing. The tracks are gone." So it was really quite a moment. I was really upset. I was terribly unhappy, but they just when I think I've got the upper hand, just when I think that the student has got the master, they got me every time. And that's something that was like the last straw where I was ever thinking I was ever gonna not be the student to them, that I was ever gonna outsmart them or something. So hey Annette, it's an honor to be able to say hello to you, Todd. I'm a huge fan. Thank you, Annette. Thank you for your support. I got to talk to lots of really cool people today. I got to talk to Thomas from Baston today, and a couple other people that want to remain anonymous that are helping out with the cooperation. Shout out to those people that are giving on Instagram. My website's back up, discoveringbigfoot.org. You can be part of this. I tell people, when you get on board, I send you my documentary. I send you a whole bunch of stuff that I can't talk about, but I just send it out. And I say share it and give it to everybody. So I'm sorry if it's freezing 97 Bronx. I don't know. I don't know. It's always like that for me. So I live way out. I don't live in the city. I live way out in the middle of nowhere. Hell, last time I was in Vancouver in the city, and it was freezing up. So, and I really went out of my way today to come. I'm not at home, and I went way out of my way today because these are very important to me. You guys are awesome. I love these live shows so much. They're good therapy for me. And so I went way out of my way to, I'm at a restaurant that apparently has incredible Wi-Fi. It's not busy right now. So this is important to me, guys. I'm not just sticking you around. So please be patient. I find different variants fascinating as I hear you on YouTube podcast. So thanks, Kevin. I hope to see one hunting so I can shoot it in the end and end this discussion. I don't recommend you shoot one, Stone S, because you'll die. So you might think it's all cool and funny, but you point a gun at one of these things, and as I was saying, you point a gun at one of these beings, and you won't survive. So their mother, father, uncles, brothers will be around, and they'll get you, and you'll disappear, and nobody will ever find your body. So I highly don't recommend you try to shoot one. And even if you go out with that intent, you're going to lose. You can't take on a Sasquatch. You're way too powerful. I would be an incredible hunter. I would be an incredible stalker if I did that stuff, and I could never. If I wanted to and tried, which I wouldn't morally, I would get my ass kicked by the Sasquatch. Or you'd start a war with them. If I went out with a bunch of Rangers and Navy SEALs, we'd get our asses kicked. You're dealing technology versus nature, you're in trouble, man. This is the ultimate nature. These guys are amazing. So for God's sake, don't shoot a Sasquatch. So anyhow, Bigfoot speaks. Well, Christopher Foote, who just said Bigfoot speaks Lakota. Excuse me, I've had many native people tell me that the Sasquatch speak old native languages. So, yeah, that's what my teachers have told me. Even my Cree teacher told me that one day if I really needed to talk to them, he would translate for me because he knew the dialect of woodland Cree that they spoke, an extinct dialect, and he knew it. So, yeah. Is Big Brother messing with you? Everywhere I go, this internet's like this, so I don't know. I'm so sorry. Don't tell him I'm at work. Cindy, you should be working. Get some work done, Cindy. Actually, you know what, Cindy? You are working. You're helping move us towards the discovery of the millennium. So you're working. You're doing something very important, Cindy, so be proud. You're helping with the Bigfoot discovery. What's up, Christopher? I know it's breaking up. I'm so sorry. I'm doing everything I can. I wish I could figure out a way to get this done, but why is Bigfoot being covered up by the government? Because it's the government and they're douchebags. Sorry, maybe that was not a big thing to say, but it's more BS. Why are they covering up aliens? Why, it's money, it's corruption. So I'm so against killing these beings. I hope Bigfoot bends that hunter's shotgun. Well, let's not get angry at people. A hunter's got his perspective and he doesn't understand. And I thought about tranquilizing one once. I have a video, to kill or not to kill a Bigfoot, on my YouTube channel. Go watch it. I really considered tranking them, and that would have been a disaster. I probably would have killed it. Any Sasquatch that I tried to trank, we don't know metabolism, and we don't know about what'll knock him out and where. And then you tranquilize him up in the mountains, and he runs up to the top of the mountain, which is where they go, and then he falls down and dies. So tranking him was completely ignorant. So please excuse me for my ignorance at the time. And and don't worry about the hunters. They're not going to get this done. I work with the best of the best of the best, and they're not getting this done. I'm sorry. You walk into the wilderness with guns to hunt these beings, they're going to see you coming miles away, and they're going to own it. So I don't know. And if people want to start a war and fight with the Sasquatch, they have my sympathy. It's awful, disgusting. I mean, what does our species do that makes you ashamed? I can see 1,000 things every day. So no, I'm not eating Chinese food. I apologize. I'm a little hungry. I've been busting my butt today, so I'll try to. What other ways can we help? Emperor Ozen. Well, right below you, Emperor Ozen, is Amanda Cephisaurus. Send us an email at bigfootencounters@gmail.com, or send us an email to the website. And what can you do to help is my question. You can share videos. You can tell people, just, I don't know, what can you do to help, right? Maybe start an app. I don't know. There's just so much to do. We have so much work. So what's your daily job that you make a living from? I did lots of other things. My career that I quit to do this was a pasteurizer. That I really enjoyed being a pasteurizer for a huge company called Dairyland. I really enjoy it. And I gave that up to do this. And now it seems like I'll be able to do expeditions and get monthly donations and build the Discovering Bigfoot Research Center. So I think this is on. Even though I've been through a lot and it's been a really hard last few months, devastating. It looks like it's going to happen because you guys are amazing. All these people that support are just amazing, and I love you guys. I'm so grateful. So he said they mostly look alike aside from the receding hairlines, probably due to a subject being older or younger. That's right, Kevin. So why are there two famous videos you took? The two Bigfoots are so different faces, the dark face and the huge. Well, they're not really different. It's different lighting. The colors are almost the same. And you know what the big difference is, Robert? That I was even looking at today is most female gorillas don't have a sagittal crest, the bump on the top of the head, and all male gorillas do have a bump on the top of the head. So the top of the head looks different. The facial shape and the nose, though, the noses match. The mouths match. They both have that kind of mouth like that. The eyes match. The space between the eyes match. So if you put me beside a woman, there's going to be some pretty significant differences, and people look different. So the government wants to take control of the narrative. Anything they can do to control the system. Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't get into that paranormal stuff. John Bitternickel taught me that. Let's not take a subject that's paranormal and make it more paranormal. So do I believe they're there to help us? Yeah. I feel like moving forward with this discovery is so important that it will change the world. And in my own little way, I'm just a little guy doing what I can to make the world a better place. And I feel like this discovery will absolutely make the world a better place, because they're the ultimate species in nature, the apex species in nature, and they're spiritually connected and amazing, and they can bring us closer to nature. So that's why the main reason this discovery is so important is they can help bring about enormous change on this planet. And the more I learn about them, the more I can see, like, spiritually, connectivity to nature. There's so many things they're going to teach us, and it's incredible. So sorry that you gave up, Donna. Is it really that bad right now? In what way did Bigfoot beat you up? They just kind of throw me around a little bit. I talked about it in my last video, I think, that's on YouTube. Yeah, I think my Saturday video I talked about it. Or at least maybe in my last live YouTube. I think the Sasquatch had diarrhea then. Okay, that could happen if they're sick. So do you have any new unreleased footage you're saving? Just the California Sasquatch stuff. the distribution company that distributed the movie Discovering Bigfoot, that owned the movie entirely, they paid for half of that expedition to California, so I have that. But it's not great footage. It's just, it's okay. So you're allowed to eat. Thank you for thanks, guys. I know you'll show the world Bigfoot's are real. Thanks, Jason Rivers Fishing Adventures. Jason Rivers Fishing Adventures. River fishing's tough. That's the stuff. Will we ever see a Bigfoot in the mainstream news? I've been in the mainstream news a lot, I thought. A lot. And there's new stuff coming. But yeah, absolutely. It's coming. The discovery's coming. It's got to happen. It's just going to be time. If you've seen Bigfoot three times throughout my life, well, that's great. If you ever see a Bigfoot, you're very fortunate. Congratulations. Getting wood in Idaho, okay. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate you having my back. It looks like Michael Jackson. That's what people have said, but I don't know. That's the photographs, not the video. There's a big difference between I was taking video footage. I'm an expert with my video camera. When water would drop on the lens of my video camera, I'd put that down immediately and take photographs with the camera that was set for low light in direct sunlight. So those photographs are horrible, and maybe I should never put them up, but I just wasn't afraid. It was real Bigfoot, and I just threw caution to the wind and put up everything. So the Michael Jackson, the photographs, they do look awful, but remember that. It was filmed in direct sunlight on a sunny day with snow on the ground, making it 10 times even brighter because snow reflects the sunlight. And I took photographs with a camera set for low light. You know, what do you do? And the whole point of that camera was to shoot at nighttime. That's why it was set for low light, because my other camera that I was an expert with was worthless at night, totally worthless. Talking about speaking Lakota to Sasquatch, that's cool. Todd, how wide are their faces, ballpark size in inches? Well, I have a video on my YouTube channel that shows exactly, but I mean, my face I discovered is about 7 inches, and I think the Sasquatch was over double that, like 15, 16 inches. Jason, river fishing, are there bad ones and good ones? Hell yes, of course there are. That's what scares me. Are there really 4 different kinds? I don't think so. I think there's all one species, but I don't know. That's my opinion. I've never seen the dog man and different. I just think they're all Sasquatch. So Patty had the crest, the cone shape. Yeah, and she was a female, right? So, you know, and maybe the female that I was filming was too young to have the cone shape yet. So I don't know. These are just my theories, guys. I'm doing the best I can. I don't know. I know what I know, and what you'll see me do a lot is defend my footage and talk about it being real, because I know it's real. That's what I can tell you. My footage is real. It really happened. The real events. I will tell you about how it went down and what happened. And that's all I can do. And, you know, I come from the perspective of my footage is real. I was out there bleeding for it, you know? So I fought for that footage. Last question, are Bigfoots with snouts being sighted? No, I've never seen a Sasquatch with a snout. And I've never spoken to somebody who I felt had an authentic experience that said they had a snout or a dog man or something like that. So, but that doesn't mean that it's not the case. Why don't you answer my question? Karen Jensen, what's your question? What did I miss? Sorry, Karen, I can't see your question. Your question, Karen, is why don't you answer my question? I just answered your question. Sorry. And to my mediators, take it easy on people. I like tough questions. Just because somebody wants to shoot a Sasquatch, there are people out there that want to shoot a Sasquatch. I'd like to talk to them about that, you know? So let's not be too hard on tough questions. I don't mind them. Angry, as long as just don't, you know, no swearing and anger. If you have something hateful to say, I don't want to hear it. So I'll delete the person. But, you know, if they have hard questions that are tough and you doubt me and you have some tough question, bring it. I've heard it. Trust me. I've heard it. So if they're showing their teeth, do you think they're showing aggression, or could they be smiling to show happiness? This is a good question. I would lean heavily towards aggression, though, because there's so much gorilla-like in them. Here in Australia, they have their own language, but can also speak and understand English. Well, and that's from Aussie Bigfoot Yowie Down Under. Cool. Yeah, I haven't been to Australia yet. I'd love to. Thank you, Todd. Can't wait for the next life. I'm going to start real research for better questions. God bless. Thanks, Kevin. What's your take on the dogman? I don't know anything about dogman. I don't see any reason to think a dogman exists. Doesn't mean they're not real. Blazing silver with grapes, shown teeth, maybe a sign of fear. Yep, I agree, Amanda. Any words on proposed live cams? I would love to do it. It's just money, right? It just takes money. So I'd be flying around drones and have this discovery done. If I had $1 million tomorrow, this discovery would be finished. It would be done. There would be books and the movie that would blow your mind. The only reason I'm here talking is I don't have enough money, and it sucks. The world is that way, but it is. Research doesn't happen without money, and that's just the way it is. It's a painful truth, and but you know, if a network would come and sign on with me, and I'm talking to these networks every week. It was Discovery Channel last week. It was National Geographic the week before that. I can't even keep track of the production companies that are always chasing me around and stuff, and it's just not getting done. So I don't know. Do they smell like a musky smell? And I found their smell is a lot like a gorilla smell, very similar to gorilla. How's the court case going? The court case is on hold because of money. I'm just doing my research right now. I have lots of cool things that are going on. Don't think it's not moving forward. There's evidence being gathered, and there's amazing stuff going on. But and we'll figure that out. The court case has to happen, more of it. So there's too many people working hard on that. So it's still moving forward. It's just, you know, it's a matter of generating revenue for it. So Missing Link movie thoughts. I didn't see the Missing Link movie, which is a missing link. They're divergent species, separate like gorillas and orangutans and chimpanzees. Do you think National Parks USA no Bigfoot and covering up? Yes, I do think that. That is my opinion, and it's nothing more than that. So, but even here's Dennis Croak. Here's what I'll tell you. After the court case and everything I did with Fish and Wildlife, what I know is they won't say Bigfoot's not real. They say no comment. And I'm talking Montana. I've been to California. I've been to Washington State, Alberta, British Columbia, and Canada. They always say no comment, because if they ever said Bigfoot doesn't exist, now I can sue them for defamation of character. How do you think they all know to say no comment? That's so important, dude. That's so important, ladies and gentlemen. The fact that they say no comment, the fact that they will not comment and say Sasquatch doesn't exist is enormous. That's why the court case got thrown out. Never said it doesn't exist. They say no comment. No comment, no comment, no comment. You're not liable for no comment. You're liable to say they don't exist, and they won't say that because they know they do exist, and they're legally prepared to deal with me coming, because all the Fish and Wildlife I've ever talked to always say they don't exist. Embrace the beard, grow the beard back, brother. I just wanted to change. It's all good for now. No denying them anymore, Donna. Yeah, people will deny it though. People live in denial. It's a river they just love, and it's not in Egypt. He almost has a trim beard. Thanks, guys. Just saying, no worries about the beard, guys. No worries. Even look, I'm not shaving very good. Check it out. It's all scratched up. So, how has Bigfoot been able to be so elusive through the ages? Well, they just have no trouble. And you know what, Shade Maker? Let's say you saw a Bigfoot. I know people that have seen them definitively. Incredible. This may sound ridiculous, but like I was just saying, if you saw a Bigfoot, who would you call? Who are you going to call? Who are you going to tell? There are police officers, fishery officers that I know, wildlife officers that absolutely know they exist. They can't do anything about it. Good, I'm good, yeah. So, you know, people, you're not believed. And then, you know, I can't even get my bloody DNA tested. I was connected to networks, to Jeff Meldrum, to John Benenigal, PhDs, professors, universities. These cowards wouldn't test my DNA. When they did test it and it came back something unknown, they wouldn't talk about it publicly. So the problem is the discovery's here. Jimmy Chilcott's evidence with the tracks. I mean, there's so much evidence out there. You know, that's why I wanted to present it in a court of law. I would have annihilated them. Way annihilated any doubt that the Sasquatch exists. So it's been frustrating. But I only can do a few more questions, guys. My phone's dying. Hey, thanks for whoever made a donation. Sorry, there's so many questions here. Ghostbusters, I can't keep up. Bigfooters are matched. Well, let's talk about this. So Milky Bar 06 says Bigfoot are masters of camouflage, and they're in their element. It's beyond that. It's them hearing the birds, letting them know. It's them reading nature, knowing which way the wind's going on a particular day or a particular time of day, knowing the wind gauge, knowing why the deer are moving in a certain way. To sneak up on a Sasquatch, you have to get past the deer, the elk, the birds, the squirrels. I mean, you got to beat nature, and it's not going to happen. So they're at such a level. They know where to be. They know how to pick a spot where you can't sneak up on them, you know. There's just so much to it. It's so rich. It's way beyond camouflage, way beyond tracking, way beyond the animals and the birds. It's feeling your way. It's energy. It's so many things. They're so incredible, and that's what they don't have any trouble evading people. So don't worry about your image. Everything's a lie, and you're exposing the truth. Thanks, Parkway Hippie. Yeah, lots of crap out there, right? Nice face. Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, you can see my face, huh? Haven't seen my face in years. Todd, could you talk a little bit more about bringing in an animal communicator? Well, I'd like to know what they're thinking, right? I couldn't imagine, like when you saw that Diablo about the Black Panther, if I had that kind of information, it would be enormously significant, and it would help this research move so forward. And I really know those animal communicators are legit and real. So why don't want you disappear? I don't understand that. Thank you for your time, Todd. You're welcome. Have you seen a white one or many colored phases? No, just brown and black. Thanks, Gordy Hill. I appreciate your support. Washington State confirmed the existence of Bigfoot in the early 70s when the Army Corps of Engineers published. You're right, Michael. You know, and there's been more than that, way more. That's something that leaked out. There's way more than that. I've seen it with Texas Rangers. I've seen it with stuff in Alaska. It's way, way more. So, agreed. Oregon has a lot too. Thank you for all your hard work, Todd. You're welcome, Lindsay. Thank you for your support. They are nature. They're the ultimate. Sasquatch and evolved. They're the ultimate nature species. Absolutely. I totally agree. They embody it. They love nature. If you don't have anything in common with nature, you have nothing in common with the species. And in nature is the preservation of the world. And they are nature. They're the greatest nature. And we're North Americans, so many of us, right? So, or even just North American, Europeans, I don't know. Anyways, I don't mean to alienate anybody, but you know, I'm an indigenous person here, and you know, they're so legit and real. Hi, Todd. Can you explain what the Dan Hamilton event you wrote about on your old website? Yeah, it was an actual real event, and that was one of those things, though, that's you know, a paranormal incident that happened, or you know, that's debatable, and it just does damage to the subject. So. The problem with the Dan Hamilton incident is there are real families involved, real people, real families, and they do not want to be talked about. They don't think Bigfoot had anything to do with it, and me and a couple other people do. But if I talk about the Dan Hamilton incident, it's mostly about families that want no discussion with Bigfoot, and they'll sue me. And they've literally told me that, you know, they'll sue me. They are very angry that I'm bringing up the whole incident, and they don't want their families involved or discussed to do with that. And the reality of that whole Dan Hamilton thing is why I just try to leave it alone as best I can. Nature is magic, powerful. You're right. Master level, it's so incredible. So what do you think females do when they are on their period? I don't know. Tough question. Well, it's not a tough question, just, I don't know. They just do what gorillas, what do gorillas do? What do chimpanzees do? So, I don't know. Okay, guys, almost got to be finished here. Just a couple more questions. How do you believe they are mainly non-aggressive? Yes, very much so. Donna Spangler keeps saying empath. Thank you very much for supporting. Thank you, Danielle. What do you think of Melba Ketchum study? Well, I think it's legit. So, but I don't have anything to do with Melba Ketchum. I met her, and we do not see eye to eye at all. She's very different from me. So we'll just leave it at that. Do you really take anyone out with you to show them Bigfoot? Yes. Well, not anybody, but contact me through the website on the discoveringbigfoot.org website. There's an expedition page, apply, and I'll consider it, you know. That's what I do, Spencer. I take people out. I did it with Survivor Man, Jeff Meldrum, John Bennernagle. I've done it with 20 other individuals. Of the 20, you know, 90% want to come back and had an excellent time. So, you know, Dan Priest talks about how they could teach snipers a couple tricks. You know what? They have. You betcha they have. You betcha they have. So I cooperate with snipers as far as movement and concealment. I have some friends in the United States and mostly in South Africa, incredible snipers. And I see Sasquatch do stuff and I tell them, they go, that's brilliant. That's amazing. That's fantastic. Even as recent as this year, I saw Sasquatch do something. And I told the snipers about it, and they're like, that's a new level. And I'm like, yeah, it is. And I'll just tell you even real quick what it was, is they were swaying with the trees, like that. So when you're stationary and the tree is swaying, you stand out. But if you sway with the branches, you blend even more. And I saw a Sasquatch. I'm like looking at it like, what the hell? It was clearly well, not clearly. It was a Sasquatch. There were tracks thereafter. He was, see me swaying right now? The trees were blowing and he was just moving with the tree branches just like that. No sniper does that. They do now though, or they will, the great ones. So is that amazing? The Sasquatch are teaching snipers about movement and stuff. So, okay, one more question. Washington is recognized. I already did that one. Let's go. Where am I here? My goodness, how far up am I? There's 1,000 questions here. Todd, do you carry weapons? I always need to be able to defend myself against bears and mountain lions. They're very predictable and I haven't had trouble with them, but I just want to make sure. The giant Wan on Game of Thrones was 14 feet tall. Okay. Good night, all. Thank you for your service. Good night, Brian. And I just wanted one more question. Do you think anyone who goes to discovering Bigfoot like you will get roughed up and get footage? No. Bye. No. I sure hope not. I don't want people to get hurt. And you know, Bri when Bri 36, that sounds so cheesy to say that. Anyways, my expeditioners are very important to me. No one's ever been harmed in any way, shape, or form, and everybody comes back safe. And I don't want that to happen. But you should know, Bri, that I'd say almost all of my expeditioners don't even carry cameras. They don't care. They've talked me out of it. So they don't want cameras. They don't want footage. They just want to see it. They want to experience it. And they know that carrying a camera will damage that experience. It could be just a fleeting glimpse of a Sasquatch where you're looking at your camera, where you're trying to focus and you miss the moment. So, because they'll agree, most of my expeditioners will say, it's not likely we'll ever get footage as good as I've already gotten. So why am I out here for footage? I want to see what you filmed. That's what they want. And that's what they're after. And I love that. The things that expeditioners have taught me are, and I say thanks to all of them. So I'm very grateful for that. Anyways, I gotta go. My phone is kicking out here. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support. Again, I'll have a Saturday video coming up and I'll be on next Wednesday. Y'all take care, and I'm gonna try to end this. I'll see you next week and I'll see you in the videos. Thank you so much, guys. Awesome questions again today.